What's up, y'all? It's Yoda. I'm here live with Jesse Iwuji. I've got Jesse, caught up with Jesse, sitting in his simulator all the way across the country. I'm sitting here in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, right now, and the office is at 0 to 60, which is the offices at my house. And Jesse is at his place. Where are you living now, Jesse? Where in the world
I
have I caught
am.
up with you at?
I'm in Southern California. A little bit east of LA.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just it's what's I don't even know what time it is. I think I'm 3 hours behind you. So,
You're 2 hours. We're central.
two, you're
Yeah.
central. Oh
Yep.
wow, so 2 hours. Okay, not too bad. Not
It's
too bad.
11:22 here. Um, this is let's see here. I want to make sure that the sound is right, everything's good. Folks can see you running VR. What kind of VR
Yeah.
headset you running in there with iRacing now?
Yeah, so I got Oculus Rift. I don't have the newest one that just recently came out. I got the one right before it. So I purchased this about I think sometime last year or so. Got it integrated with my system. It's better than running the screen. I really feel like I'm in the race truck right now. I mean, I can see all the way around. I can see the seat next to me. I can really get the kind of that speed sensation that you're looking for when you're playing, when you're on iRacing and training for each race.
Yeah, VR's nuts, man. VR's nuts. I'm actually, you can't see it right now, but I'm holding something up in front of my camera that would make you really jealous.
Oh, really?
It's a Rift S.
Oh, Rift. Oh, wow.
um,
That's what I need.
I've got the Rift S, and we have an Odyssey Plus at Nemesis, and it is a step up. It really is a step up. It's definitely worth the investment, man.
Oh, yeah.
I highly recommend it. And now that we've told everybody what's going on, let's dive into Jesse Iwuji and what you have going on now. We've had you on 0 to 60 multiple times when we were on the radio. Now that we have spun 0 to 60 over to the podcast realm, haven't had you on for a little while, but you have been a busy, busy, busy man. It's been absolutely insane. And just wanted to get up to date, man. Hadn't talked to you in a while and been following along with things that are going on, but definitely wanted to get up to date and catch up. And congrats on the great run at Michigan last weekend in the trucks. Jesse is currently running the Gander Outdoors. Well, actually, you're not running the full series, correct? You're
Yeah,
just
yeah, just running partial schedule right now. So just running the races that we can when we find the sponsorship for it. So for us, we're just always constantly on that hunt for more sponsors so that we can keep on racing because we do not get on track if we don't have sponsors.
uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's crucial, right? You got to find the backing, and you've done a good job of it, though. I mean, considering you are still relatively new to the sport, I mean, how long ago did you start? How long ago were you and Kyle Wisner talking about hopping into a performance P1 car? It was just was it a late model out at Irwindale that got you started?
Yeah, late model. Yeah. So, I spoke to Kyle back in March of 2014. And, I met him at a car show. It was, I believe, actually, it was
It was Springfest.
what, the Spring Fest.
I'm
Yeah, the
pretty sure it was
Mopar show.
Spring. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's the
Spring
same
Fest.
show that we met at. I'm pretty
It
sure.
might, no, no, no. I met you the year after that.
Was it year after? Okay.
So in 2014, I had a crazy Challenger, but it was not with me. And I actually was debating on even going to that show because I didn't have my Challenger. It was still being like rebuilt and all that stuff because the motor had blown up. But I actually remember telling myself, I'm like, Jesse, just still go to the show for a networking opportunity. You never know what's going to come out of it. I literally told myself that. That's the only reason I even went. And I had no clue that it was going to lead me towards, a few years later racing in NASCAR
Right.
at the national series level.
No,
So
it's amazing. It's crazy how stuff like that happens, right? I mean, it just
yeah.
you never know. Like I ran into you and it was like a friend of a friend kind of thing, and someone had told me there's this Jesse guy with a 5,000 mile an hour Challenger basically, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. I was writing for Modern Mopar at the time, and I was like, yeah, we need to talk. So we ended up talking at the year after, and it's just been, you and I have been friends ever since, and it's been really cool watching you do what you've done in such a short time. That's one thing that we do need to touch on. You have done this in a very short time. You have gone from running a late model to running in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series in less time than I don't even understand how you've done it. I really don't understand how you've done it. Like, how have you prepared yourself for that quick of a rise? it's just you're getting into everything you possibly can to drive every chance you get, or what's the
Yeah.
deal?
So for me, yeah, I try to get into anything I can. But a lot of the stuff that's really helped me being able to just drive on a track and not be like, out there just like, causing issues all the time, has been this right here, just iRacing, training like this on the simulator, getting, hundreds and hundreds of laps in every single week. When I first started racing in 2015, I used to do about 500 to 600 laps a week on iRacing, like every single week, just training. And I used to spend all that time doing it on Irwindale in the late model,
Right.
on iRacing. Like I didn't do anything else. I didn't do any other races. I literally just went to practice mode. I went to the private test sessions, and I would do like 125 laps a day every night. Like I wouldn't go to sleep until I did my 125 laps so that I could at least get 500 in for the week at a bare minimum. And
Right.
I would do that all the time. And then I remember you and me jumped on one time and did a session together, and that really helped me out a lot actually. So
We jumped on
I was
multiple times. Yeah, it
yeah,
was
but
it was multiple times. It was awesome.
the first time we did it was like one of the first times I ever got to jump on with anyone. I had never jumped on with anyone because I always was doing private sessions. I never did the races. I just did the private sessions. And then finally, you told me, hey, let's jump on together. You can show me a few things, and it's going to help me out a lot. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. Well, I jumped on with you, did that. The very next real race that I had, which was my second race ever, I ended up qualifying 12th of 21 at Irwindale Speedway as a rookie who didn't know what he was doing. But I honestly, I put like a lot of that. Really, the big thanks is to you for just being able to jump on with you and just learn how to just run better. I helped. Or sorry, you helped me perfect my line a little bit more. You helped me learn how to how to enter the corners, how to exit, like how to be smooth, how to all that stuff. You kind of learn it in that session, especially with all those times we're going side by side, things like that. So iRacing and simulator has been a huge help, and that's what's allowed me to rise up the ranks as quick as I have, and be able to do it well.
Well, I'm humbled by the compliment, sir. it's
Yeah.
it's I mean, honestly, we're just having fun, right? It's this is supposed to be fun. This is good stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and it's cool to it's really cool to hear that because I've been involved in simulation for a long time, and we have seen over the almost 2 decades now that I've been involved in it professionally. Simulation is almost an immediate talent detector. Like you can literally sit someone in the seat of a sim and get a really good read on if someone has a feel for car control and where to position the car, where it needs to be in whatever situation that you're in, whether it be oval or road course or even off road. Now that a lot of titles have got rallycross and rally, and iRacing now has the stadium trucks, which are epic. Um, it's just simulation in general is a mega talent detector, and I mean you got down to running quick right away, man. There was no doubt about it. But a lot of that comes from the fact that you have a background, you have a very athletic background, um, and consider
Yeah.
we might as well go into that a little bit too, because it's not like you jumped into a truck or jumped into a stock car in general and then progressed up to the trucks the way you have without having some background in athletics. And just go ahead and tell folks where you came from and how you got there. It's watching you try to do whatever you're doing on the keyboard right now is hilarious.
No, I'm trying to turn on a Assetto Corsa now. I just did like 110 laps or so at Bristol on iRacing. So now it's time to get out of the oval stuff and go
Oh,
drifting.
really? You're gonna go
Yeah.
drifting? What are you gonna get? What are
So
you
I'm
gonna
gonna go
drift?
drift. So I have on Assetto Corsa, I have a little black Corvette Z06. It's a drift car on there, and I can pick different tracks. I can do Irwindale. I can do this little. I can. There's a lot of different places. So, I just jump on and get as many laps in. I gotta be. It's really weird though. I gotta like set my VR up like right here, so it's like the placement of the head in the car is like in the right place, or else like it's all bad.
You can map the button to recenter the display.
Yeah, could, but I haven't figured all that stuff out.
Yeah.
This is the way I know it works all the
you,
time.
you need me to
Call
make
me
a trip to
ghetto.
California in a bad way. in a bad way. I need to come out there and learn you a couple things. That's
You'll
awesome.
you'll see me catching the car here a whole bunch of times, and
What
doing
do
a lot
you
of crazy
What do you
stuff.
got for steering wheel?
I got a G27,
That's
Logitech G27.
You are still rocking the G27.
I still got the G27.
We are gonna bring you kicking and screaming into the 2014s. Is what we're gonna end up doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we're gonna figure out
G27.
how to get you sorted.
It's my little OG setup, you know.
It's OG, all right.
It is OG, and it's helped me a lot, even on this drifting thing. Like before I actually went and like actually did a real like jumped in a real drift car and drifted it. I did this on this, and it man, like tell you when I got there to real life, I felt like I've been doing it all my life, you know. And I just jumped like when I jumped in it, like I was like comfortable immediately. I knew what I was doing. Like I wasn't like trying to like learn how to walk, you know.
It's I tell people all the time that car control is car control.
Oh yeah,
It
that's why I
truly,
practice it.
yeah, it doesn't matter where you learn it or where you get the seat time. If you can if you can pause and correct that oversteer understeer, I just lost your camera feed. Now
You
it's
said what?
just I think you just knocked your phone over or your phone.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. That's what happened. It just
Did it,
went into.
did
It
it
just wanted to. No, it almost wanted to die. No, it's
Oh,
not dead yet.
gotcha.
Okay, now you're back. Right?
Yeah, man. I mean, car control is car control. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it was literally like, "What can you drift?" And I was like, "You can drift a school bus.
Yeah,
You can drift a fire engine. That thing is making some serious noise, man."
Oh yeah. That's a G27 for you.
Oh, it's crazy. All right, we've got someone watching. We have Aaron Grosskopf watching. If anybody has any questions for Jesse while we're on here, he is fresh off a run at Michigan International Speedway in the Gander Outdoors series. And obviously, that was just a couple days ago. And it's the first time, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time that you have completed a race on a circuit of that size. Am I correct in that? Or
No. The first time I finished lead lap on
finish
a
lead lap?
non-super
Okay.
speedway.
Okay.
On a non-super speedway, yeah. So I have 5 or 6. How many truck starts? I started twice last year and then 4 times this year. Yeah, 4. Yeah, so 6 truck starts. My best finish is 17th at Texas. This is my second best finish at 21st. I've had a 22nd finish, and then I had 2 kind of sucky finishes at like 28th or something crazy like that, 27th.
2 kind of we won't talk about in finishes.
Yeah.
So what was Michigan like? Just out of curiosity, it's like in real life compared to sim. What are the comparisons?
Honestly, it's just like it. It is just like a big and fast. Big and fast. I mean, it's a very fast track. It's like a little mini super speedway. It's crazy. Like, it could almost be a super speedway because how big it is and fast it is and the banking and all that stuff. But you can't run all over the track. Like the high line really isn't there. I wish it was. That'd be super cool if we could run that. But they haven't worked that in. I think California Speedway, or not California Speedway, Auto Club Speedway, they have a better high line than Michigan. So Michigan just got to find a way to work that thing in and get it to where there's actually a lane up high and not just the bottom 2 lanes and that's it.
Drop that traction compound down.
Well, they did. They put the PJ1, but I don't know what this PJ1. It doesn't do the job that everyone wants it to do. Like it's not great. I think it needs heat in it to really be sticky, but no one wants to go put heat in it because when you're the first one to jump in it to try to put heat in it, it's actually slick. It's not sticky, and you don't want to wreck your race car trying to put heat into it. So they got to find a better way to put heat into it. I don't know what they got to do, if they got to have a rolling burnout all the way around the corners or whatever. Like I don't know. Like, but they got to figure out a way to get some machine to be able to put heat in this stuff right before a race so it's sticky immediately, and then people can just run in it from the beginning, and then all of a sudden it's not like an issue.
You could put the jet. I mean, you could run the jet dryer around on it. Like once it's down, it's not going to blow it off because it's stuck to the track, and the jet dryer is hot.
So, maybe it depends how hot the jet dryer is. Maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, between the jet dryer, I don't know. I think a burnout, like they need to have some like rolling tire thing that's doing a constant burnout.
So we need to bring the NHRA track prep, the
Well,
tire
they need to put They need to put
VHT,
VHT down.
right?
Yeah, that stuff is
VHT
like
would
sticky off the vent.
that would be
You know.
overstuck though, wouldn't it?
Probably. Maybe
Yeah,
don't put that much down. Just a little bit. Just like a light spray, because you can control the jets that are spraying and stuff. You know.
Are we fixing the sport right now? Is that what we're doing? Or we're
yeah.
we're actually fixing stock car racing right now.
Yeah. No.
We're fixing the multiple groove conundrum. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Every track needs to have like high lines, low lines, mid lines. Every track needs to be where you can run all over. That would be cool.
it would be cool, but there's something to be said for having to figure out where you need to be during the race, right? Like, I mean, do you really want to start with the whole track is open for every car and everyone can run equal lap times no matter where you're at, no matter which lane
Well,
you're in?
the thing is, I mean, it has some truth to it, but at the same time, too, like you gotta have your car set up to run well on one of those lines. Like you can't make your car perfect, even if the track is sticky all over. You can't make your car perfect for every single line. You can only make your car perfect for like one and a half, 2 lines or so. So, for the ones that you can't use, I mean, some people might choose, hey, high line is our one today. Let's make our car great for there. Where some people are like, no, I want to run the low line the whole time. Like, that's where we're going to be good at. That's where I'm best driving at. That's what I want to do. So you see the strategy of teams picking what's best for them and the driver. Then they're running that thing all day while other people are like Kyle Larson, he'll be like, hey, I want to run this high line. I want to be up against the wall, keep that momentum going all the way around the track. That's his style. Everyone
And
has
it's
their style.
easier
So
on tires up high too. So,
and it's easier on tires,
yeah.
yeah. So, or everybody just might pick the high line. Who knows? But everyone has their style. So I think it could be interesting to see what people pick and choose at certain tracks. Like you go to a place like Irwindale Speedway, you can run a low line, but I don't really like it. I actually like running up high, like up against the wall the whole time. Some people like running the midline. Some people want to go down low a lot. It just depends what your style is.
I remember I've never run Irwindale in real life, but in the sim, I would come off the wall and go about mid track is where I like all the setups that I ever made for anything that I ran there seemed to do better in the middle of the track through the corners. But
Oh yeah, well
yeah,
yeah, and some people do run that line, but for me, I like running up high. Like I don't go below that little dash line to the center.
yeah.
Like I might barely touch it with my left side tires, but I stay above that thing the whole time.
Man, we're gonna witness Jesse's steering wheel just exploding while we're live. That would be it would make for great video.
This thing is sturdy. It is sturdy.
So between you making the noise there and it just started pouring here, and we have a metal roof now, so it's crazy. Actually, Aaron asked a question. He asked how much sim time did you get in before you went to Michigan? Like how much time did you put in running laps around Michigan before you went?
I probably did about 5 days worth of laps, and then the 5 days worth of laps I did, I probably did about 30 to 50 laps each day.
Each day, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not crazy. I don't think that's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
No, it's not great because I've gotten to the point now. I've gotten so much sim time now that I don't need to do 100, 200 laps a day on this thing. I just need to be optimal. That's all. Optimize it, be optimal. Don't waste too much time. Get good quality runs in. Practice the line quality wise, and then do some longer runs and things like that. But I don't need to do hundreds of laps a day anymore. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but I just don't have time to do all that stuff. And when you're running by yourself and training by yourself, it can kind of get a little boring.
All right, that's the next question I was going to ask. Are you ever getting out on track with other racers?
Only the week of the race. So I'll practice by myself because I don't race at the race. So the weeks prior, I'll be practicing leading up to a race, knowing that I'm going to be at. And then the week of the race, when iRacing actually has the race on the schedule, I'll go and get some practice sessions to get some people to see where I'm at, to see, okay, has everything I've been practicing been all right? Has the times I've been running been okay? Usually they have, and usually I'm able to go in there and run fairly quick.
That's cool. That's cool because I've always said that a lot of drivers, they will only hop onto a simulator and run alone, and I think you're missing half the point. if you never hop in, especially like if you only have titles that you can only race against the computer, AI hasn't really gotten to the point where it's totally like another human being. But with iRacing, get in there and mix it up. And even if the people that you're racing with don't have racecraft, don't really have the situational awareness that you may have, it's still going to make you a better and more aware driver when you hop out of the sim and get in the real car. At least I think. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I don't
No,
think
no, no,
I'm wrong.
no. You're, it's true. No, it always helps running against people. I do like the weeks when it comes up. It's just the weeks leading to it. There's no one on there that I'm really testing with, so I'm just kind of by myself. But
Right.
the week of, I really do like jumping in with people. It makes it a little bit more exciting. I can do a lot more laps. I find myself doing 60, 70, 80 laps, instead of, just like 30 or 40,
Right.
50, because it's more fun kind of running against people, trying to beat people's times. There's always going to be people in there fast. Like every session I jump into, there's always going to be that guy who's just like God's gift to earth on iRacing and going to run some incredible time that no one can beat every time. And then every once in a while, I'll be the lucky one to be in that top.
I mean, sometimes that guy is quick in real life too. A lot of times that guy that's quick in simulation is just quick in simulation. I mean, it kind of just depends, man. Some folks can find ways to sort of game the simulator, if that makes any sense. And I think if
I don't like that. I like when people actually try to play real.
Yeah, I mean, I've been racing for so long, and now that you've been racing for 4 or 5 years, I find it almost impossible to look for those loopholes.
Yeah.
And like there was a thing with iRacing. It's been years ago. The tire model is much better now. It still needs some work. Good Lord, that wheel's gonna come apart. But there was a thing where you could literally never come all the way off the throttle and just drag the brake and save the car no matter what happened with any of the cars. And I couldn't drive it like that. Like there was something in my brain that was like, no, if you drive like that in real life, you will die.
Exactly.
So I just couldn't make the connection to actually make that a reality on my end.
Over the last few years, there's been a lot of things they fixed to help make it even more realistic. But even the little loopholes, I tried my best not to follow them because I'm like, this is not how you drive. Like even like before, like this year we talked about earlier. This year has had the setups a lot more free, a lot more loose, and I like it because it's closer to real life. It's actually a little bit harder. Like running Michigan on the sim this week was harder than real life. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, I think things happen faster in a simulator than they do in real life. Like things can get out of control a lot quicker in the sim. Once you get out of the sim and get back in the real car and you get, I call it your butt dyno. You can actually feel what the chassis is doing underneath you. And you get all of your peripheral back. Even with VR, I mean, you've got about 110-degree field of view. It's kind of like having a full face helmet on, but it doesn't quite have the same viewport as a full face helmet does just yet.
Exactly.
It definitely helps being able to turn your head and look to apex and look for your track out points and all that stuff.
That's what I'm doing right now, just looking for those apexes.
I can see that. If for the people who there's a couple of people that are watching right now. For y'all that just joined, Jesse's drifting right now. He's not having a seizure. Because if you watch this back, it just looks like you're just randomly like, oh no, something went wrong. Please oh, we're back. Yay, we're back. What was that?
I was just getting a peek. I thought I heard something.
You thought you heard? You know what you heard?
I wonder if you can. I don't know.
You heard your steering wheel coming apart.
My girlfriend is cooking some great food downstairs, so she'll be coming up soon. I'm trying to see if there's a way you can watch this while. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it so you can get a view of this.
Of you sliding around.
Yeah, I don't know if this will actually work the way I'm contemplating it could work, but
this is not what you would call high quality gaming stream right now.
Yeah.
But it gets the point across.
You know what? There is a way, I think. Let's do this. All right. So we're going to do this number right there, kind of. And then I'm going to put this, kind of face it towards you a little bit. I'm going to make this. It's a little bit bigger. Oh wow, that didn't look up too well.
That was perfect.
Hold on.
That was absolutely perfect.
Hold on. It's
All
gonna
right,
be
so
tough.
you're drifting in Assetto Corsa in a black Corvette.
Yeah, a black Corvette.
I wonder why you're doing that.
Because I have a Corvette.
How many miles are on that Corvette now?
On the Corvette, quite a bit. Man, this might not work. Shoot, like 200,000 miles now. 203,000 miles.
Never been rebuilt.
Never been rebuilt. No, it's been refreshed.
This is the transmission. Not even. What years? What years? It's a Z06, right?
Z06, 2006 Z06. Transmission is not the stock transmission though.
Okay.
I had to get another one because some shop screwed up.
What's in that car? Is it a T56?
Yeah, T56. 256. Man, I wish it was
2006 Z06, 200,000 miles, never been rebuilt, has a transmission, and I know you pummel that thing.
Oh yeah. I've driven the wheels off that thing.
Between you, let's see, there's you, there's Mick. I have 4 or 5 friends that have just gone Corvette. And I don't hate Corvettes. I've just never loved Corvettes.
Yeah, I didn't until I got one. And then when I got one, all of a sudden everything changed, and everything was just awesome.
Is it? I always poo-pooed Miatas until I got one.
Yeah.
And then I got a Miata and I was like, oh, the answer really is always Miata. Is it kind of like the same thing, but it's like a Miata but with horsepower? Is that the
it is like a Miata with a lot of horsepower, like a pretty good amount of horsepower.
Just stuck to the earth.
Well, it tries to be. It's not really too stuck to. It is constantly doing a burnout.
I'll tell you what, like I have some friends here in Alabama. Brian Leonard is the primary, and he has been sound is fine. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that heads up. Corvettes have always been my kryptonite, man. I have been very fortunate to get to drive. Yeah, we can see inside the car there pretty well, actually.
Okay.
Of course, now every single rattle that state-of-the-art G27 steering wheel has is magnified exponentially.
It's magnified a lot.
Dude, that thing is coming apart, man. Yeah, but Corvettes have always been my kryptonite. I don't know what it is. Been very fortunate to get to drive a little bit of everything over the years, and Corvettes want to snap oversteer on me for some reason, and I don't know why, because I'm pretty smooth.
That's a normal occurrence with those things. It's not just you. It's the reason why is because the steering angle on them suck. Like there's only 24 degrees of steering angle, which I didn't really understand that whole thing and learn that really until I started trying to get into this.
It's a steering angle thing. It's a rack thing.
Yeah, it's a steering angle. Like it's only 24 degrees of angle, which is sucky. Whereas
Brian Leonard, if you're listening to this, Brian he tunes Corvettes. Get me in a Corvette with more steering angle. I really want to try it now.
If you get a steering angle kit with it, like, get one where you can have 50, 60 degrees of angle, then it becomes basically a drift car.
I don't want to drift it. I don't need to drift it. I want confidence at 10/10. And not like I want confidence at the chassis 10/10, not at my perceived 10/10. Like I want to be able to put the thing right on the edge, and I've never hopped in C4 through C6. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in C7s. I've spent a little bit of time, enough to know that they're awesome. And now, damn you, GM, the C8. Holy crap!
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that thing. Especially the CA06.
Have you seen one in person yet?
I haven't seen one in person yet. No,
I haven't either. I was just wondering if you had, because I'm solely going off of pictures, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. Every generation of Corvette since the C4 has taken a year to 2 years for me to finally go, I see what you're doing there. I like it now. You know, like
Yeah,
they've had to grow on me. The C8, immediately I was like, oh shit.
it's pretty epic. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I might have to have one of those. And then they said backside of 60 grand, and I was like, how much is the right lung worth? I've never
Yeah,
smoked. It's in really good condition. It just that car. And for all the people who are basically, well, it's a combination of a Ferrari and an NSX and a McLaren. Yeah, it is. It is. If I was GM, and I know GM is completely unapologetic about that,
yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, a mid-engine car is a mid-engine car. There's no, like, people keep on saying it's a cross between this, cross between that. It looks like this. At the end of the day, okay, then somebody please go out and design a mid-engine car that doesn't look like every other mid-engine car out there. You can't. They gotta look the same. It's a
well,
mid-engine car. Like, unless they want to make it a mid-engine Camry or something like that. Like, at the end of the day, it has to look like a Ferrari. It has to look like a Lamborghini. The only reason we're saying it looks like that is because those were the ones that really kind of first started the whole. I mean, they didn't first start the whole mid-engine trend, but they're the ones who have been running mid-engine for the longest, so everyone associates mid-engine with those looks. Well, that's the only look you can have as a mid-engine. There is no other look. It's a Ferrari
I don't
look.
know
It's a
whether that's
Lambo
true
look.
because the Porsche, the 911, is slowly morphing to mid-engine. It basically is a mid-engine car now, and it has a different look.
The
It is.
well,
It really is.
that is that yes, that is different because it's a Porsche look. It's a what it is it's just they took a Beetle and made a Beetle look a lot better.
And they perfected it over
Yes,
70 years of development.
yes, yeah.
But
Whereas
I
but
I
for the most part, yeah,
I kind of disagree with it has to look like that. I don't think it has to look like that. It could look like whatever the hell you want it to look like.
hmm
The reason why it has to look the way it looks is they want to win. Therefore, they spent tens of millions of dollars with computational fluid dynamics software and wind tunnels and track testing. And if you want to win in GT racing, you have to have a drag coefficient of this. It has
yeah.
to be able to go,
Balance this way, the
right.
friction, the
That's what
coefficient of
dictates the body
friction,
style.
yeah,
It's
which
not
happens
that
to look
they.
like a Ferrari and a
Yeah,
Lambo.
I mean they could build the thing to look like a damn Model T if they wanted to with
Yeah,
a
they could.
mid-engine
They
in it,
could.
but it wouldn't
Yeah,
win.
it would exactly. It has to pretty much look the way it looks, and it's just there is no other way. Like
But it's
not
still,
any way you can think of.
I still think it has a lot of Corvette in it.
It
And
does. I think it does too.
I don't mean that in a bad way. And for me, not being a Corvette guy, like when I look at it, I'm like the C7. Like I said, the C7 took a year and a half, 2 years for it to really grow on me. Now I see Z06 C7s, and I'm like, ooh, that is a much better looking car than I remember it being like yesterday for some reason. Like a switch goes off in my brain.
Yeah.
But the C8, it's the first Corvette the uh, since the C3 actually,
hmm
where it looks like the styling part of the aerodynamics team and the stylists got together and said, "Hey, let's actually make the back of the car look like we care."
Exactly. And
And
they did. They did. They did. I think they did a good job with it. I mean, it's going to be popular. A lot of people are going to buy it. There are the haters out there, but funny thing is, most of the haters out there can't even afford it. So it's just internet trolls who just want to troll and say this and say that. Oh, it's this and that. It should be this. Blah 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 blah. It should be, should be, should be. But until you put your money down and buy one to support the cause, it's only going to be the way it is. And it's just it. Like you know, it,
I
it's
don't
just
know whether
life.
my wife's on board with the idea or not, but I'm on board. Um, and I love our Alpha, man. I love that car to death. I really don't miss the Challenger. I thought I would, but the Giulia is just such a nice daily driver. But I thought my next car was going to be, and it still might be, because I've always said the Porsche, the Cayman, is the best car I've ever driven, bar none. Like, and I've driven some stupidly expensive cars over the years, but I always go back to the Cayman as my go-to. Do you have a go-to like favorite car?
Um, for me, honestly, it is like okay. So
You're gonna
for
say your Z06, and
I honestly, the C6Z06 is one of the best pound for pound, money for money cars ever in the history of man. I just don't see anything else that is better than it. Not just because I have one, but because it just is. Like I've driven a lot of cars, and for the price, for the money, I mean, the thing, it's fast, it's balanced, 50-50, it's light. It has more cargo room than most cars out there today. I mean, the thing is, and it's just an animal. You can literally daily drive it, and I've proved it. I mean, I got 200 plus thousand miles on it with 500 plus road course track days. I don't know how many drag strip runs with it, and a lot of other stuff. And I've overheated that motor at least 10 to 15 times. And when I say overheated it, like not like 240 or 250, I'm talking about all the way to the red line where the limp mode came into effect. Like I ran that thing, and
and
it
it's
just
still alive.
works.
You've never
And
had a
it's still
cylinder head
alive.
off that car.
Well, now for cylinder heads, what I did was I upgraded my cylinder heads when I like probably at 100,000 miles, with the valves, the springs, the retainers, all that stuff. I did upgrade that. I have refreshed a few things in the motor a few times. Like, and when I say refresh, like more of like head gaskets and that's really about it.
But the motor's never, like the bottom end has never been out of the car.
Bottom's never been touched. No, bottom has never been
That's
touched.
amazing. And
And it's
it's
boosted
still
now.
naturally aspirated. I was going to ask you, is it?
It's boosted. At 184,000 miles, I threw a supercharger on it, so it's had the supercharger for almost 20,000 miles now.
What do you have on?
Magnuson. I got Magnuson TPS 2300 on it.
Jesus. Stop making me. Yeah, quit it. I have friends sending me stuff all the time. They're like, "You need this. You need this. You need." I was like, I don't need another car. Stop making me want another car. If you're making me want another car.
I got an Audi S5 now, which I really enjoy a lot.
Oh, so you got a daily? It's not your
I
daily
do have.
anymore.
Yeah, the Corvette still I can consider it a daily because I mean this year I still put maybe 12,000 miles on it or so. So Corvette still is somewhat a daily. The Audi is getting a lot of miles to itself. I bought the Audi in April, and I probably put about 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it or so. So both of them are seeing equal time. I literally split it almost half and half.
Have you had the Audi up on Angeles Crest yet? Have you played?
I have not. No, I haven't. I've taken to a drag strip though a few times.
Would it turn?
I'm still trying to work through some issues.
No,
the guy.
What's the real number? Give me.
I'm trying to work through some issues because the car has gone 11.9 and a quarter mile, and it's not going 11.9 right now because of I don't know what. I'm trying to figure it out. I've done a few things which has helped, but I'm not at the 11.9 yet.
Is it tuned?
So it is tuned. It's all that stuff. It has a supercharger on it too.
Okay, so it's tuned and it's got a. It probably has a DSG tune on it as well.
The tune came from JHM Motorsports. They created a supercharger kit for it using a Vortec.
Okay.
That's on there. The thing when it's running optimal should go 11.9. It's gone 11.9. There's a video of it going 11.9. Right now it's more of like in the mid 12-second range.
So it's running with my Scat Pack. Actually, it's running slower than my Scat Pack ran.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not running where it should be. It should be like so at first the tune that was supposed to be on it wasn't on it, so I got that on it. That helped, but I think there's also a MAF sensor issue. So once I get that cleared up, if that's the issue, then hopefully it's where it needs to be. But it's getting better. It's just not where it needs to be yet.
What color? What color is it?
It is a Destroyer gray, like that Nardo gray look. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. It's lowered. It's all that stuff. It's a nice car. I like it a lot. Nice. Nice little change up.
Any suspension or wheels, tires?
Yeah, coilovers. That thing is dropped down.
How the heck have I not seen this car? I'm gonna go to your Facebook.
It's on my Instagram.
I was gonna say you got.
It hasn't been on my Instagram lately because the Corvette's been getting all the love. But
is it on face page? Do you have it on your?
It's a little bit on Facebook, on my racing Facebook, not on my personal Facebook.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I think my girlfriend, the food might be ready.
All right. If your food's ready, I mean we've had you on here for a little while now. We've had you on here for a little over 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time. Number one. Number two. As soon as I get the chassis, the R&D chassis back out here to the new house, you and I will definitely be hopping on and doing some more laps. It's been way too long since we've done that, and we'll do some live
Yeah.
streaming there. That'll be a lot of fun. Um,
Mhm.
and last but not least, where can folks find you? Where are they going to see you on the television next? And
Yeah. So
so are
the
you?
goal is to run not Phoenix, sorry, yeah, Phoenix, but Vegas as my next race, truck race. So that's what we're working on. So
What's the
hopefully we can
date?
put all that stuff together. That's like September 13th,
Okay.
14th, or something like that. It's
Okay.
a Friday. So that's the goal. Run Vegas, and then yeah, there's some more races after that. So we're grinding, working on it every single day, and hopefully we can make it happen.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything else with NASCAR on social channels and anything with NBC?
We'll
Or
see.
can you
There
talk
is
about
some
that right
potential.
now?
It's yeah. I don't have the details on it. Put it that way.
Okay.
Something's gonna happen. I just don't know the details yet.
It's cool. I mean, I definitely caught what you did the last time you were on NBC Sports. It was awesome, man. It was cool to
Yeah.
see you there and doing it big, man. Doing it big.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Watching you kick butt and take names it puts a smile on my face, man. Couldn't happen
Yeah.
to a nicer guy. And
Thanks. Thank you.
knowing what you've done to get where you're at, man, it's just it's a pleasure watching you do what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know what you're having for dinner, but enjoy that.
Oh
And
well. Oh,
I'm gonna go
well, I'm
have a
hungry because
smoothie
I
and go
haven't
to
eaten.
bed.
All right.
Jesse,
Uh-oh.
thank you so much for your time,
Yep.
man. Yeah, you died there for a
Yeah.
second. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Oh,
your time. We've been talking to Jesse Iwuji, Gander Outdoors Truck Series driver, NBC Sports commentator, NASCAR social media guy. He's all over the place. Jesse, we will talk to you soon, man. Have a good evening out there in SoCal, and can't wait to see you on track again, man.
you too, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Yep. Talk to you later.
Have a good night.
You too. All right. Bye.
That's it for Jesse. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We appreciate it. Thanks for following us on 0 to 60. We're definitely going to be doing this more often. I'm going to pop this interview up on the iTunes page. You'll be able to find it in our podcast as well as audio only. We have to ask everybody out there. You know, we like I said, we appreciate you following along. Please share this thing. We're doing everything in our power to grow 0 to 60. We want to bring you as much vehicular content as we possibly can. You know, we're concentrating on everything. If it moves you, if it has wheels, if it has an engine, if it's a plane, if it's a boat, I don't care. As long as it's cool and it moves you, we'll talk about it. So, hope everybody has a great rest of the week. We will talk to everybody soon. Thanks for following along on 0 to 60. Y'all have a great night.